So what they threw out, they thought it was a brick. And they thought when they threw that brick, this is part two. Sorry for this being a long one. They threw out a brick. They thought that that brick, because the way the brick, they had always been throwing bricks. They've always been throwing bricks at black people, indigenous people, people of color. And those bricks usually land in a certain way. And what they didn't have not realized and what they failed to comprehend, because their reality is based on a lie, a series of lies, that brick they thought they handed out under the new rules that have been set up, that messes up boomerang. And as I told you before, be careful what you do, because in these times when the rules have changed, they changed a couple of years ago. When I say rules, I'm using some shorthand to explain some deeper principles. But if the grave you dig for someone else, that grave, that grave is the grave you're going to be buried in. Okay. Everybody tries to talk about karma. Karma only works when the rules are being enforced. And for certain people, aspects of society, people who have certain viewpoints, there is now that grave you dug for black people, people of color, the indigenous, all that stuff it's come, like it's now that grave is for you. That brick you thought you could throw at them and you could continue to bludgeon them with that brick by throwing that brick and then hiding your hands. Now that brick is a boomerang. And because Christianity won't sober up, and it's been drunk at the will of people's lives for so long, as I've been saying for years, you got to this. You got to catch that DWI. You got to catch that. And you got to catch that punishment. And it is not a punishment. And I'll have to talk some more about this. But some Christians understand this, but many don't understand that there are certain things in life that are just self-judging. Like the concept of sin in it, now that's a long conversation. I don't want to make a long video, but if part of that, and I'm not trying to make this complicated, but part of what that category of behaviors are a category of behaviors that just have natural and probable consequences. You may not catch those consequences immediately. Some people don't catch them for a while, but you eventually catch those consequences. Unless we are in a span of time in which there is a kind of grace to where there's some avoidance available. That avoidance has literally, it was like a carpet rolled up in the middle of the night and tossed into the owner's vehicle. And now when people get up, they think they're about to walk on that carpet, walk safely, securely onto the path that they're usually walking. That safe, secure walk is no longer there. So I want you to watch. I'll have to attach the video because I started talking about this. I saw today, I think it was January 2nd of this year, and I was talking about Nick Fuentes when the first attempt on his life was made, and he's still rattling on. And I told everybody, that was the first video I made on the subject. Told everybody these conservative thought leaders, podcasters, etc. Like there's a reckoning. There is a reckoning because of what they have done, because they're just grifters. It's a scam. Fox, it's a scam. Like Fox better watch out, because I'm still working on the probability, but the probability is very strong that you're going to see like a Fox news building explode. There's either going to be a mass unaliving of some kind if they don't quit. Anyway, I do not like violence. I am by nature a pacifist. Like I just want everybody to love, live, get along, and be happy. And let's go have a cookout. Let's talk about the good things going on, girl. Let's talk about our kids and let's talk about fun stuff, sports, and people. The literal life should be a cookout. My goodness, that's why I said the new American dream is the ability to be left alone. But we have to, in order to get to that phase of being in which people can get back to a more natural, organic way of living, because if you don't, the world's coming to an end for humans, for a lot of humans. I've told you about this before. There's a high probability if we keep it keep trucking along. It's this the stuff that's happened before, which is human beings being knocked back into the proverbial Stone Age. It's coming. The earth will abide. The earth's going to save itself. You won't be here. You and your crazy fictitious thoughts about white supremacy and capitalism and the fact that the rich, there's one group of certain groups of people who should be able to order themselves above other other groups of people. You're all just going to be trying to survive. Anyway, this is going long. This is part 2 of what shouldn't have been a 2-part series. I just want to tell y'all, good news. Good news. It's not going to seem like, it's not going to seem for a while like there's going to be any end to this. So in the midst of this, I'll have to either slice in a video or I'll post it on my channel, do something, but you're going to have to find your happy space, right? You know those people who do the little thing with the bowl? Like, I never paid attention to that stuff before. And there's this one French dude who I forwarded his video on because for my neurodivergent brain, like he like rubs the little wooden thing around the bowl and he puts the water in the bowl and then the water spins and it makes that woo sound. And that, whenever I have to come up against something that I'm just like, because all of us are feeling that way. We're nauseated psychologically, spiritually, mentally, all of it. All phases of our being are just nauseated with the nonsense that are going on because what's happening right now is just an acceleration of what was always going to be, but it's being sped up in order that things not be totally destroyed. I got to do a video on that. Sorry, I was just testing the bounds of what I could say because I was like, oh, but anyway. So know this, you're going to have to create your own bit of happiness and it's going to take a lot of labor. Like, what I really wish is that we could all this effort that's going in to keep yourself sane would come with like some calorie burn, because the amount of calories we will all be burning over the next umpteenth, as we say in the South, like an unmeasured amount of time, but the umpteenth time for which we're having to deal with this nonsense that's occurring. I hope, I wish I could burn calories for the amount of work it's going to take to choose some level of peace, sanity, and happiness. Because as a far-seeing person, I'll be very honest, it's very, very hard. You have to work really hard not to say things, those "thus saith the Lord" ladies and gentlemen, you've seen them in churches. Now, "just saith the Lord, you're LGBTQ and blah, 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 and you're going to burn and God hates you." And they say all those horrible things because that's how they feel, but it's not actually the truth, but that's how they feel. So as a far-seeing person, it's taking a lot of work because I said something the other day to someone, I was just like, oh God. Because if you're a far-seeing person, you're at the depths that I have it, and I'm not like this 100% all-seeing like oracle, but you get told stuff because you can be trusted with stuff. And then I was given some information and then spent weeks trying to figure out, like, how do I say this? Anybody else get death notes? Like, how do you tell? I've talked about the struggle before. Because I'll sit in denial. I'll try to figure out how to tell people. People sit in denial. How do you manage that? But that's just the personal issue. Anyway, I really wish, long story short, I did want to say good news, but I also want to say you're going to have to choose happiness and peace. And until that muscle gets strong in all of us, it might be a butt kicking, but I wanted to tell you good news. The FAFO analytics on what's going on right now for those people who get out there, get loud and proud about their white supremacy, let them do it. I don't want to hear it. I mean, at least we're in a time in which people can like snap back around and say what they need to say, like in the same public sphere. At least we have that. But until then, guys, good news.